Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Harika. So in previous video, we have seen how we can actually log in into the application, download the Excel file and also filling the form for a single person. So throughout this process, we have seen different types of selectors, different ways of choosing the unique selector and also multiple things around it. And in this video, I am going to show you how we can actually fill the form for multiple records that are there in the Excel file. So firstly, let me show you the Excel files that I was talking about. So this is the Excel file that we have downloaded. Let me go over here and show you the records. So these are the Excel records that we have from the Excel file that we have downloaded. So now the agenda is to go over and fill in the form for all the records that are there in this Excel, right? So for that, what we have to do, firstly, we have to fetch the data that's there in the Excel. Okay, that needs to be coming into our task file, and secondly we should fill in this for all the records. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do, let's take fetch Excel records. Okay, so to fetch the Excel records, what I'm doing, I'm going to open the workbook. So we have rp.excel.files library, just take it. So what is the path of the Excel? We know my Excel is shared here, stored here. So excel.xlsx. I'm going to save it here. Once after I open the workbook, I am going to read the whole sheet that's there as a table. Okay. So read worksheet as table. Because why I'm reading it as a table? Because I wanted to iterate through each record that's there in the table. Okay. And I have to mention that it has a header so that the first line will be considered as a header, and it has a return type. That particular read worksheet as table method has a return type, so that return type I has to pass it here. Okay, so let me take the variable. Okay, I will take sales record table. Okay, so this table will have the Excel sheet that we have downloaded. And after that, I'm going to close the workbook. So now what I'm going to do, let's put a breakpoint. It's already there, and I have to run this task and see if my table consists of that particular rows or not. So how I'm going to do, let's debug this. And now I'm going to show you how we can do that. So while it debugs, I will show in the watch panel itself. So we can see here the variables and the watch and everything, right? So so it has logging in into the application. Okay. Suspended due to permission error. Okay, I have opened this Excel, right? So let's retry this once again. Retry. Think it's working. Okay. And it has given. Okay, it has given the first these records that I have gave, and this contains this particular variable, and this variable contains the whole table. So now let's come and check it over here. If you see the variables, under variables I have created sales record table. That table contains the column first name, last name, sales, and the target sales and the sales target, and it contains 50 rows. So now what I'm going to do, just copy this value and I'll just paste it in the notepad, or I can just paste it somewhere here only. Okay, I just copied that value, and we can see that 50 rows are there. So now I'm going to hit the continue, and it is finished. One passed. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you know that I've copied this whole thing, right? This contains this particular columns. So now what I'm going to do, for each record in this particular table, I am going to pass the values and I'm going to fill in the form. So I'm going to change this particular keyword with a small modification. How to fill the form? Here we have fill the form for single person, right? So I'm going to fill the form for each record in Excel. Okay, that's the only thing I'm going to change. And I have to pass it. I have to pass this particular variable here. So how I have to pass? I'm going to take, okay, firstly, let's define it as an argument, and how to give it, just take this and give one reasonable name, sales record. Okay, here we have table, and here I'm taking each record at a time, and this each record I am going to take, and I have to pass the column name. What is the column name? First name is the column name that I should pass into the first name. Okay, same way. Second, the second one has last name, right? So I just pass last name. Okay, and then we have index and label. I'm just taking it off because we know that the most preferred one is the value. So how and why I have told and given you the practical example in the previous video. If you haven't watched, please go and check it out. If you wanted, I will give the link for the video here on the top right. Just click it and you will reach to that video. Just understand the whole concept behind it, so you will have good knowledge on it. So I'm going to change this into sales target. Okay, this is the column name, and after that the last one is sales. Okay, sales. Let's change this. That's it. Okay, so here we are passing everything. Let's take off this thing. So I am going to fill in the form for each record that's coming there, and I'm passing the arguments. So how you have to do this is, let me show here. Okay, so this is clear, right? So we are filling it for all the arguments, sorry, for all the records in that particular Excel. So here I'm taking a loop. Okay, the looping is important, right? For each record in that particular Excel, the looping has to be done. So how I have to do for, if you see here, it has so many things. So I'm taking for in. So if as soon as you select, you'll get the syntax. So for in, you have to give it here the list. Okay, sorry, the element that you have to pass here, that you have the list. So this is my list, right? This contains a whole table. So this is the list. So for each element, what is the each element? This is the each element. So for single record in this particular list, I am going to fill the form, right? So what you can do, you can just copy this whole thing and you just have to paste it here instead of this log message. You have to paste it here and make sure the indentation is right. Okay, because if you give it here, it's gonna not work appropriately, because the indentation is very important. We are writing inside this for loop. Okay, so this works for each time the for loop iterates. So what's the main thing that you have to remember here is, you have to pass in the argument. So what is the argument? This is the argument, right? We have to, okay, so that's what we are passing it here, right? So this is the argument. So just take this off liner. We know don't need it. Just give one tap. That's the indentation. Okay, so what we are doing, we are fetching the records, we open the Excel and we read it as a table. For each record in that table, we are filling the form. That's it. So we don't need this anymore here. how the task execute is, it will go here, it will fetch the records, and it just comes here, it will open the Excel, and it will store whole table here, and for each record in the table, it will be filling out that form. That means it will call this function, and it will go here, and it will be filling the form and clicking on the submit. So that's what it happens. If you want, I can just run it and show you how this actually works. I can put a breakpoint, maybe here and here. Okay, let's debug this and we'll see how this works. So it's just that if you run the process in the debug mode, you will understand how the process is running. So later, once after you get more hands-on, you can just run it, execute this in the run mode only. But for time being, you can just keep it like that. Okay, so I am going to fill out the form. So it has taken the records. If you see here, it has all the records, right? The first name. So if you see, this is the whole table, and this argument contains the first record, which is David Hazel 80193 and 30,000. So that's gonna be filling into the form. So just click on step into. So if you see, it has gone here. So just say continue. It will fill the form, it will submit, and it will come to the next record. So if you see, the next record is there. So like that, it will continue. So I'm going to take off the breakpoint and let it run. So we can just monitor it here also. So if you see, the records are being added and the robot is working. So if you see on the top, we have active sales people as a count, right? So that's getting incremented. So this process will run until the whole records in that particular Excel are finished. So we have 50 count, right? So this process will run until it becomes 50. And I will show you what is the next step that we have to do after finishing this task. So let's give it 10 more seconds. I could say the robot is quick. And moreover, we have executing this in the debug mode. If we have done it in the run mode, it would be even more faster. But yes, we are almost close. We just have only 17 records to go. I know it can be done in soon. So let's just give it some time, just 10 more records. So meanwhile, you can just keep thinking about what's the next point and what we have to get out of this task. Yes, it's done. 50th record is also done. And if you see here, okay, there's a breakpoint. I'm going to hit continue. And we can see the task is passed. So what I'm going to show you here is the whole records are entered from the Excel, and we have active 50, and all the data that's there in the Excel has been kept here, right? So now what I have to do in the next task is I wanted to take this particular value as a screenshot, and I have to export all these data into a PDF. So that's the next task which I'm going to talk about in the next video. So do not miss all these videos, and if you find this videos useful, please give a thumbs up. That gives me a lot of motivation. And do subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I do videos on Robocop and UiPath more frequently and regularly, so you can get the video as soon as I upload it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.